Hi, I'm Donald Crunk. Welcome to Donald Crunk Tested. We're talking about tools and EDC and equipment that I've used over the last 10 years in professional and personal life. This video is going to be about some of the most overrated tools and EDC, some of the most disappointing stuff that I've bought over the last 10 years, and I'll go into my reasons why. So let's get started. Starting things off, we have kind of a genre of tools, and that would be the micro or pocket size tools, right? We have the very popular Knipex, Cobra, extra smalls here, and I also have this Crescent adjustable wrench. It's a 4-inch adjustable wrench, right? Like that's how big the jaws get right there. And I guess these are cool in concept, but when you actually go to use them to accomplish something, and I'm not the first person to say this on YouTube, right? This is kind of a gimme. You don't have very much leverage. It's super important when applying torque to have, as much leverage as you can. That's how physics works. But these don't give you too much. So the Knipex, they do open fairly far, I would say, but if you're wrenching on something that big, you really don't have much to work with as far as handle. So I find this tool, pretty disappointing. I don't think you're sacrificing much in the way of weight or size to go up to the 5-inch model, which is like a much more useful tool in my opinion. So I would generally steer people kind of away from the extra small set. It looks nifty, it looks cool in your EDC setup, but the 5-inch or the 6-inch is really the way to go to get work done. Same thing for this Crescent adjustable wrench. Like, I've never accomplished anything useful with this tool, unfortunately. It's just too small. It's too small. I'm sorry. It's kind of like a, I don't know if you've ever seen like goat guns. Like they're these like tiny firearm replicas. Like this is like the goat gun of adjustable wrenches. It's like what are you doing with this? So anyway, that's the first category. Micro pliers and micro wrenches and such. Here's the next item or category of items, and that is pocket pry bars, like the concept of a pry bar that you keep in your pocket for all your pry bar needs. Once again, like prying things depends on leverage, and if you have something that's small enough to keep in your pocket, you really don't have very much leverage, and maybe there's a better tool that can accomplish that job. I have a couple of examples here. I have my titanium pry bar that I keep alongside my Viva bit set. And it's cool, right? It's super lightweight, but I don't think I've ever really pried anything with it successfully. I've used it a couple of times to wedge into something, but I've owned this for many years now, and it hasn't come in handy too often. And this is really on the inexpensive side compared to many of them I've seen out there. I mean, there's pry bars out there that are absolute pocket jewelry, and I don't want to fault anyone for carrying pocket jewelry, but as a tool, I don't think these are very useful. This thing here is a CRKT Viva, I think, and it's got this big loop-de-loo here that I'm not sure what it's for. It's got some hex inserts here, so you can potentially put this over a bolt or a spark plug or something like that and use it that way. So that's cool, I guess. It does fit a 1/4-inch bit right there if you push it all the way up and you stuff something in here so that it doesn't slip out. A little fiddly to use, but it can do that. This is advertised as a pry bar up here. Honestly, it's probably a better pry bar as far as profile goes than the Comm titanium model. It's also advertised as a flathead screwdriver. Okay, Like it's pretty wide. And you know, of course you have to have like the bottle opener, right? Like all these pocket tools have that. So this one isn't crazy expensive or anything. I think it's like $10, but it's just like, what am I going to do with this? It's pretty large for what it is. Now, what I will not accept any criticism of is the fantastic Gerber shard. Like, weighs the same thing, right? It's another pocket tool. Yes, absolutely. And it absolutely has a bottle opener on it, and it has this stupid flat Phillips head that I'll never use. But this pry tool / flathead is actually useful for something I do, which is opening NEMA boxes on the shop floor. And it's compact enough and small enough to live in my pocket compared to some of these others, which are, you know, a little bit too big for that. This rides along with me every day, and a little pocket sleeve here along with this flashlight from Lumentop. And I actually find this to be hugely useful. So I'm absolutely a hypocrite for complaining about these pocket tools, because I carry one every day. It's just a different model that's actually suitable for what I do. So whatever. All right, next up we have a tool, or an EDC item rather, from Civivi. These are the Tac-N-Tweeze tweezers, which I bought because I'm a bit of a tweezers enthusiast. I love a good set of tweezers. Working in electronics, typically you're using tweezers quite a lot, especially for surface mount components. And, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm sure these aren't ESD safe or anything like that, but it would be cool to have like some retractable tweezers that I can use for whatever. So I bought these, and they weren't inexpensive, right? I think they're like $26, $27 on Amazon. And the way these work, if you haven't seen them, they have this little tensioning screw here that you unscrew, and then you're able to slide the tweezers out, and there they are. A couple of problems apparent right away for my use case for these tweezers. Number one, the jaws don't open very far. That is not a wide opening tweezers. So you could kind of like force them apart further if you want to, but you know, that's not what you want to be doing. So that is just a very small opening for a given set of tweezers. Another issue with these is the geometry of the tip, right? You see how it kind of angles inward like that, and it's absolutely a sharp point. There's a place for tweezers with sharp points, for sure, depending on what your application is. But combining the sharp point with the inward angle means that, you know, if you're picking up a small object, especially like a component or something like that, your points of contact are the tips, the inner tips of these really sharp points, and your item is more than likely going to go launching off into space. So for what I bought them for originally, which was kind of just general precision use for electronics or for just small items, not ideal at all. The wrong geometry, the wrong width. They're fairly heavy for what they are. For the same cost, you can get a much nicer set of tweezers. Here's a set of ESD tweezers from Viva, and you notice these, they also have, like, you know, a relatively sharp point. It takes a lot less force to bring these together, so they're a lot less fatiguing to use when you're using them for quite some time. They have the right width there for picking up items. Just in general, like this traditional set of tweezers, better tool. Now, they don't shorten up as much as the Civivi does, of course, but that is what it is. Now, where these have managed to find a second life, and honestly, I should have looked more closely at the Amazon description when I purchased them, because The Amazon description describes these as splinter removers, and I think that is actually what they're pretty good at. So I keep these in my little kind of boo-boo pouch in my EDC bag, specifically for removing, little bits of aluminum or whatever from my fingers. And it works pretty well for that. I will give it that. But for general tweezers use, absolutely mogged by the Wiha here. That's the Civivi Tac-N-Tweeze tweezers. I would not recommend unless you're looking for a very heavy set of tweezers to remove splinters from your hand. Next up, we have a pretty interesting entry. This is a precision bit set. Looks like it's from Wiha, right? So it should be amazing. Well, there's this other company logo. I believe this is Xiaomi. When I bought these, I didn't know this other company logo. I wasn't familiar with the company, and it was actually branded as a Wiha set. So I was sort of on a quest, and this was back in like 2018 or 2019, to buy as many different sets of Wiha precision drivers as I could, so I could find like the ideal everyday set for me. And this looked really cool because it comes in this compact case, right? And it's really nifty. You press in at the top and it slides open. And what I found after getting it, I sort of immediately realized, like, wait a minute, these aren't Wiha bits at all. These are, like, what are these things? And, the driver is unbranded. There's no Wiha branding on the driver. The driver's not bad. It seems to be aluminum, so it's not a bad driver. But to me, the bits and, just knowing that the bits are going to fit precisely and they're going to last a long time is the most critical thing with any precision bit set. I did a little bit more research after buying and realized, like, wait a minute, this is some kind of co-branding item. Like, this isn't a Wiha produced item at all. It has the Wiha name on it, but it wasn't made by them. Just to reinforce that, if you look really closely at a Wiha precision bit, it'll have Wiha, engraved on the bit itself right there. This Torx has a bit of pitting and rust from just being carried so much over the last 9 years, but I still trust it. It still works really well. It's a great bit. These Xiaomi bits, on the other hand, lack that Wiha marking, right? They don't have that on there. They have some other markings instead. T10 security bit, I think. So right away, that's what kind of tipped me off. Like, hey, these are not what I thought I was buying. So that was pretty disappointing. That kind of shook my faith in the brand a little bit when this happened. And looking on Amazon today, this same bit set is still available, but the Wiha branding has been removed. It only has the Xiaomi branding. So I don't think I'm the only one that was concerned about this. Probably not a bad bit set. I haven't used it too often. I keep this in my set of car tools, just in case it's needed when I'm traveling somewhere in my car. But it is not my tool set that I would reach for professionally or for anything important. And honestly, just the experience kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. This could be the best bit set in the world, and I would still be mad at it because I feel like I was duped. Price for this is $33, so not expensive. Maybe that should have tipped me off. But again, seeing a brand name on something, you think you're getting an item from that brand, and in this case, I was not. Okay, last item on the list of disappointing EDC and tool purchases is this. This is the Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight. And it sucks that I don't like this tool because I own 3 of them. So I not only have like the basic model, which I purchased like right as soon as it came out. I also bought the M390 blade version, which has like a great blade, and the Blade HQ M4 blade version as well. So I have like a wide color palette to choose from. There's a lot of great things about this knife, actually. Like the blade shape is awesome. Like this blade shape is really fantastic. I think the Para 3 blade shape is super useful. Compression lock works fine. You know, no complaints there. I think the biggest complaint that I have with this knife is the detent when it's closed is super light. And in fact, it's so light that this blade can come off the detent in your pocket if something happens, and it can pop out like that. This happened to me. So I was, carrying, I think it was actually this version of the knife, and maybe something got inside the open backspacer in there and pushed the blade out a little bit, or maybe something else happened. I'm not sure, but again, this detent is so light that it was able to pop out like that and kind of grazed my hand as I stuck it into my pocket. And absolutely that kind of ruined my faith in this knife, and I stopped carrying it very often. I really don't carry this knife very often anymore for that reason, right? You don't want to be cut by your own knife when you're sticking your hand in your pocket. So that really sucks. There's a lot of other things I like about this knife. Like I mentioned, the weight's fantastic. When you're gripping it, there are some sharp edges here that your skin can kind of like sink into, and it'll be a little bit annoying, but really pretty easy to forgive that. There is some flex to the scales because there's no internal liner for some of it. But again, just like that one instance of the blade coming unseated in my pocket, really made me not want to carry this knife nearly as frequently. So I still do carry it from time to time. I usually carry the M390 version here. Again, fantastic cutting knife, but that really light detent is what makes me cautious, really, to carry it. Okay, folks, thanks for listening to me rant about tools that I don't like. I would love to get some input on my opinions down in the comments. If you agree, if you don't agree, let me know. If you think I'm stupid, let me know. I already lost the Tortuga, whatever it's called, the CRKT tool. I don't know where that went. But again, thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you next time.